Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. President Buhari resumes duty after his medical vacation in London, gets briefing from the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. President Buhari talks tough, says Nigeria's unity is not negotiable, vows swift and severe action against groups threatening the security of Nigeria. Jubilations continue as many Nigerians troop out to celebrate the return of the president. Some speak on their expectations from the #1 citizen. And main suspect in last Thursday's Barcelona bus attack killed by Spanish police. Reminder now that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb, and log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Now we have some of those pictures and let's share them with you. We can begin from the Katsina-Alaboko Road in Benue State, showing this woman whom our Eyewitness reporter says is pregnant and surrounded by luggage at the back of a moving car on the expressway. Still on roads is this image, but this time it's the state of the road. Our Eyewitness reporter sent this one in from Edo State, and he's worried that the state of this road makes it tough for commuters and motorists anytime they ply this route. From Sabongeri in Kaduna State comes this photo showing a building which our Eyewitness reporter says houses the oldest primary school in that community, and he wants something better as pupils return to school next month. Back here in Lagos, from the Aja axis of the city, is this photograph showing smoke, which our Eyewitness reporter says is the burning of wood and sawdust, and he's worried about the environment. Thanks a lot for all your pictures, and do send us some more. And we have more reactions to the president's return. The Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosun is optimistic that the president's resumption will reinvigorate the nation and boost the economy. According to him, economic diversification and job creation are some of the key areas of the Buhari administration. He thanked Nigerians for their prayers while the president was away.
I know that Nigerians will be the better for it. Clearly, when it's around, yes, it will bring that reinvigoration that everybody clamor for into the politics, and I'm sure he will do that. He doesn't. He's somebody that what you see is what you get. No pretensions. He has said that he's going to run the administration based on 3 key focus areas. And the one that I think even is very dear to his heart, and that is to revive our economy, to reposition Nigeria, and to diversify. The ultimate aim is that he wants to give job to so many of our youth and everybody that needs job. And I think the totality of his coming back will signpost more dividend of democracy.
And the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, has told Channels Television that President Muhammadu Buhari is well and strong enough to resume his duties as president and commander-in-chief. The former governor, who was in our Abuja studio, was quick to add that by his speech today, President Buhari has not only shown that work must continue to move the country forward, but has also sent the message to mischief makers that their behavior will not be condoned. While declining to say what the president should focus on, the former governor said the president needs to re-evaluate his strategies so that he can move the country forward.
The essence of his broadcast this morning was to say, I am not only back, I am sufficiently strong to resume duties. I think that perhaps was the most important element in his speech, namely that these ethnic champions will be dealt with according to law, that nobody has a right to undermine the unity, peace, and stability of our country. Whether you are agitating for to renegotiate Nigeria, and you are conducting yourself in a way that clearly undermine national security, that you'll be dealt with firmly. On the other hand, if you assume the status of self-elected custodian of a certain part and you are giving quick notice to other people, the president has said every Nigerian has a right to live and do his business in any part of the country, which means anybody making statement to the contrary will be dealt with according to law. It's not for me to tell the president what he needs to do, but it is normal that you re-examine your tools, you review the policy choices you had evolved over the past 2 years. Those of them that seem to be working and delivering well, you straighten them. Those that didn't seem to have performed, you review them. You look at your personnel and see which one you need to straighten and all of that. I think in a way, you know, because I had also officiated at a lower level as governor. No government wants to be driven by the mob. Because you are a leader, we're in a democracy, people can say what they want to say, but what you see from inside is often much more than you are able to say. I believe the president, after 2 years, he also said something, that this period also afforded him opportunity for much, much deeper reflection. I will expect that over the next couple of days, the outcome of those reflections will begin to manifest in his pronouncements and decisions. I do not want to speculate on what those should be.
To discuss the return of the president and the first broadcast since he came back, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by a legal practitioner, Mr. West Idahosa. He joins me from Abuja. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10. Okay, let's start off. Oh, thank you. Let's start off with the speech itself as delivered. What did you make of it?
Well, the speech has very strong message. It was short, it was precise. Not many can say that that speech was a surprise. It's not been too far from the president's style of communication. A lot of expectations were involved in that speech. Many expected additional comments on the question of economic recovery. Many wanted to hear more about job creation, and some also wanted to hear about the conditions for continuing to operate as a nation. In other words, they wanted to understand whether clearly the president was ready to accept agitations for restructuring and what he planned to do about that. It didn't come that way. It didn't come that way. The way the president came was to make it clear that I've heard all of you. I've taken my time out there to reflect on what many have been saying, but what we will not accept, anyone who threatens our national unity or anyone who wants to operate outside the rule of law. The National Assembly is there. The Council of State is there. If you have any input, channel it to these organs. And that's exactly what the president was saying. But the big question is, why did the president not give some extra assurances on the fact that these agitations will be put together and they will be addressed quickly? Why did he not make comments concerning previous blueprint that had been put before the government on the mode of restructuring the country?
All right,
why did he not talk about plans to audit his staff and economic policies? Yes. Why did he not apologize to the Nigerian people about his extreme long stay and solidarize with them over what has been known as extreme economic hardship? I mean, there's no need telling a lie about that.
All right,
that's going on.
Yes, if I can only just ask a minute there. When you're talking about some of the things he didn't say, I was actually going to draw your attention as well to some of the language that was used, some of the tone, specifically when he was talking about Nigeria's unity and coexistence, talking about irresponsible elements starting trouble and etc. What did you make of his tone, of the language as well that was used in that particular instance? Was that strong enough for you? Is that how it should have been?
Well, for me, I mean, that was strong because that's a very central issue for national unity. You don't, in the process of agitating for restructuring, dismember the nation. It was strong, and I like that about the president. All I wanted to hear more were additional matters of fundamental concern to the Nigerian people. He's never been a champion communicator, so we're never going to use that against him. And besides, he's just coming back after a long layoff from ill health. And so I give him kudos for making that effort to talk to the Nigerian people. Perhaps his speechwriters should take some blame for failing to make some inputs into assuaging and massaging the expectations of the Nigerian people.
So finally now, I mean, looking at all the pressing issues that are laid before him and all the issues that have been waiting for him, what would you have liked to see specifically as the first thing that he should get to work on, seeing that he's going to have to hit the ground running once again?
Well, he should audit his staff. I think his political staff, he will need a staff audit. He will need to rejig his policy, review those policies, and restructure many of these policies that are not quite working well, and then consolidate those policies that are working. I imagine that he would like to bring immediate relief on the cost of feeding. That's important. So he needs to take another look at the agricultural sector. There must be a deliberate attempt to bring the price of foodstuff down by government policies that are swifter than the ones that were in place. This is key to survival. This is a fundamental element of survival for everyone, and that would be a big statement on the part of the president. And then the second point would be security. There is no gainsaying that this has deteriorated to a very alarming situation. You can't expect investors to come here and spend their money in this type of outfit, and where life is particularly of no value. You see one man 1 minute and the next minute he's dead. Now, if we can deal with these two key issues, then that would be a big statement about meeting his promises to the Nigerian people. Don't forget, this is a very popularly elected president, massive followership, and huge expectation. A lot of the people who support the president.
Okay, thank you so very much, legal practitioner Mr. Westy Dahusa, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10 tonight. And when the news at 10 returns, state government asked to exploit federal government's cash transfer program for rural development. To join us again.